Yes.
Hello.
Hey, y'all.
Welcome to Y Space.
Welcome, welcome.
So, a couple things. I'm a little under the weather. A little under the weather. So we're gonna have that going for us.
Is it still snowing where y'all are?
No, not today. Today we're in the 40s, but after that, this week it gets back to the teens.
Okay. Listen,
What are you at now? About 75?
Well, so last week we were in the 50s, which is, it doesn't get that cold here, so we were not prepared. Today it's 80. Tomorrow we will be back in the 50s. So winter does not make sense here.
Got it. Yeah. My family is passing around, I guess, what is a sinus infection?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's even really a thing anymore. I don't know. I have a whole theory about this. I don't know why I'm going off on this soapbox, but
I don't either, but I'm interested.
Okay, Z-Paks, right?
Okay, heard of them, never used one before.
Really?
Don't you have to have a prescription for that?
Well, I mean, yeah, but like,
listen, unless I've got an appendage hanging off, I'm not going to the doctor.
Oh, okay. So maybe that's it. So yeah, like pretty much for, I would say, the past, I don't know, 15, 20 years, anytime you go to the doctor with like a cold, they're going to give you a Z-Pak. Well, now everyone says those things actually don't even work. Okay. So we've just been doing them. But here's my beef with that is that now every doctor just tells you, oh, just go take some Mucinex.
I thought we were also being told Mucinex doesn't do anything.
Did you know there's like 14 kinds of Mucinex?
Yes.
So it also depends on what doctor you see. Should I take the DM, the blue, the green, the orange? What about the one that says maximum strength? Because I like maximum. I want to go all in.
Right.
So Judd first got this, whatever this is, went to the doctor. He had a sinus infection, but because he's 8 for another week, they just said, oh, he's got an ear infection. So they gave him amoxicillin. What are we doing? Okay, great. Whatever. I will admit, though, he was fine in like a day. Then Aaron got it.
That's the thing where like the ear infections cause the sinus blockage.
But see, okay, that's my problem. I think it's the reverse.
Oh.
I think it's this causes this.
I mean, I guess that's true too. My boys used to get tons of ear infections.
Oh, yeah, Judd used to.
And it would always, and I knew that they had an infection when I would see a runny nose. I'm like, oh, they've got an ear infection. I would take them. Sure enough, they would.
Now, see, with Judd, I've always said, oh, he's got a runny nose. He's about to get an ear infection. So he had tubes at 2, I think. And we had tonsils and adenoids out at 3.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was real bad. That's not something I would ever recommend doing. But he got it, and then Aaron got it. Blessed assurance.
So Aaron got it worse than everybody, I'm sure.
I mean, he's still taking a nap right now. I just want you guys to know. That'll put him at almost 2 weeks.
Did you call in sick to work
today?
Yeah.
No. I mean, he's taking a lunch. Oh, look, I tried to do bunny ears and still got the broken finger. That's the whole thing. I have a lot of fun stories today that have no interest to anyone, I'm sure. But much like this current conversation, but I do have a point to this. So, of course, Aaron was sick. So he goes to the doctor. They test him for RSV. I didn't know you could get that when you weren't a baby.
Oh, me either.
Okay, RSV, strep, flu, A, B, C, D, G, whatever.
All of them.
COVID, please, whatever. Negative for everything. So you have a cold? Oh, okay. So he asked for a Z-Pak. Nope, we don't write those anymore. You just need Mucinex and Flonase. Give this man Mucinex and Flonase.
I feel like he could have just called me and I could have told him that.
He didn't get any better. Judd, with his amoxicillin, was fine, like day 2. So I thought I had really rocked this out, didn't get sick at all. And then 2 days ago, all of a sudden, boop, there it is.
Yep.
So I've started taking the Mucinex, the zinc, the vitamin C, standing on my left foot when I walk.
Whatever it takes.
Listen, I think everything's just a crock. I think everyone is full of shit and it's just a crock.
That's fair.
That's where I'm
fair.
at today.
Okay. Well,
My finger's still broken. Did I tell you the debacle of last Thursday?
I don't think you did.
Okay. Was that last Thursday?
I feel like once we got into the week, like later into the week, we got real busy and didn't keep each other updated.
I didn't tell you the story of the U-Haul and the fall and the water heater and the electricity.
No.
Okay, so this is a good one for you.
Listen, you have a whole other life that happens before you even tell me.
Okay, so last Wednesday, I bought some furniture on Facebook Marketplace. Okay.
Okay.
So
love
we got a new.
Me a Facebook Marketplace.
I actually got on there based on your
Relax.
recommend. Oh, is it me or is it you?
I don't know.
Is it better?
Let me look.
Welcome to the professionalism.
I don't know. We'll keep going and try it out.
Okay. Is it okay now?
I think so.
If it helps for you, you're not lagging to me, so it must be your fault.
Okay. We'll go with that.
Yeah. Feels good. Last week on the show, you recommended Facebook Marketplace. And so I was like, you know what? Instead of spending like $3,000 on a new bedroom suit, I'm going to go see what I can find on Marketplace. I found a fantastic real wood new bedroom suit. Great deal. But you know, last week we got a new car. So we had gotten rid of the truck. So how are we going to pick it up?
Oh.
Yeah. So I was like, let's go rent a U-Haul for $20, right? Sure. So we did. We went and got the U-Haul. We went and picked it up. We brought it home. Everything's good. I mean, I'm lifting furniture with the broken finger. We're good.
As you do.
So we get to the house here, at the house we've been staying in. And I go inside to open the garage and I hear running water. And so I said to Aaron, oh, I hear running water. And he said, oh, well, it seemed like the pipes were freezing this morning. So I left the shower running. I was like, oh. And then he's like, stands there for a second. And he's like, not that loud though. And so we're like, where's this water coming from? Well, here our basement is behind lock and key under our garage. And I was like, I feel like it's coming from down there. And he was like, that's weird. So he puts in the code, gets out the key, opens it. The hot water heater has busted. And there's water going amok everywhere. And I was like, oh God. Man. You know. And so he yells to me to go get pliers. Okay. So as I'm running to go get the pliers, I'm like, those are the blue handle things that squeeze together, right? Like, it's not really my thing.
Do I have time to Google real quick?
Yeah. He's like, yeah, that's it. So I'm like, okay. Because I know I can see them in my head. To this moment, I have still never found them. So I'm like racing around the house. Well, also in this same time frame, I realize that I can't find Judd. Because I start yelling to Judd, hey, Judd, do you know where those blue handle thingies are? No response. And I had been on a TikTok hole that day about this case. It's a whole thing. Missing kid. And so I was like, oh my God. Now the child's, yeah, he's thinking that. So I come running out of the garage, which is like flat pavement, to the driveway where the U-Haul is sitting, which has a little bit of a lip up to this asphalt that's got needs some work. Well, your girl bit it.
Oh, Mandy.
So I fall face first, no, like head first, right here, into the back of the U-Haul.
No.
So then I roll out. And so I start screaming to Aaron, who can't hear me because he's down in the basement with the running water. He can't hear me. But here's the problem. I can't get up because I got the finger. And you can't really tell now, but like all of this was busted up and bleeding. You can still see, oh, wait, where's the camera? You can still see like some of these cuts. So I couldn't put my hands down. And listen, I'm 41. I'm not one of those people that can just pop up on my legs.
We've passed that.
No. So I do a little army roll. And then I'm also wondering, like, am I conscious? Am I bleeding? Am I about to die of a head injury? So I roll over to my knees. I get up on my elbows. And all of a sudden, Judd comes running up. And I'm like, what to say? Where the beep have you been?
Right.
And he's like, oh my God, mommy. He's like very upset. And I'm like, where have you been? And so then, of course, I start lashing out at him irrationally.
Because he was supposed to be kidnapped.
So he's freaking out because I'm bleeding and I'm like on the ground. He's freaking out and he thinks it's all his fault. And then so I'm trying to console him. Still, Aaron is downstairs yelling for the pliers. And I was like, Judd, the hot water heater has busted. And he's like, what's that? I'm like, we don't have time. I was like, we have to find the blue handle thingies. And he's like, okay. And he was like, but mommy, you're hurt. And so he runs and gets Aaron, who comes. Aaron's like, I can hear Aaron say, what? And I hear Judd say again, mommy fell and she's bleeding. And I think he even said, like, she can't move or something, which I just couldn't get up. And I hear Aaron go, oh my God. And then I hear him like running up the stairs. So he comes outside and where I'm like laid out, laid up against the U-Haul where I've now propped myself. And he's like, oh my God, what happened? Like we're asking questions. He's asking questions before he gets me off the ground. What he says, what happened? Well, Aaron, I fell. Well, what did you fall on? Can we get me up first? Like, I don't know. My foot got caught on that part right there on the asphalt. And I'm still sitting in the floor. He's not helping me.
Oh my
He's like,
gosh.
He says, well, are you hurt? Yes. Yes, in fact, I'm hurt. I'm hurt. And he's like,
well, you go.
Where? And I was like, well, my hands are bleeding everywhere. And I was like, and I hit my head. And he goes, what'd you hit your head on? He's still not got me off the ground. Like the U-Haul that I'm leaning on, bro. That's what I hit my head on.
He needs to make sure. Do we need a straight?
He says to me again, are you okay? No, I am still not 2 minutes later into this conversation. Okay, I am not okay. So he says, we've got to go to the hospital. And I was like, we can't. We have to have the U-Haul back by 5. And he's like, but now, mind you, again, I am still laying on the ground. And he's like, but you've just hit your head. And I was like, but we've got to get the U-Haul that I'm laying on
right
place that still has all the furniture in it. And he's like, oh, okay. And he says, well, here, I'll help you up. Oh, well, thank you, Captain Obvious. So he gets me up, yet again asked me, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm great. The first 2 times I wasn't, so now I'm good.
Now that I'm upright, I'm good.
And so then he says to me, where are the pliers? Listen, bro. Nobody knows. I don't know.
We actually don't even have any.
I'm like, I couldn't find them. And then I thought, and then he says, well, why were you running? Why all the questions? Just let me live. Judd's crying over here because he's like, mommy fell because I was sitting inside. He was inside the U-Haul. He said, I wanted to see what it would be like to drive the U-Haul. Well, I'm glad you didn't try.
Right? Okay. That'd have been a whole another problem.
Yeah. So all this happens, and I'm like, well, it's like 4:45. We got to get the furniture out of this thing. We're still just standing here. I'm bloody. There's still water everywhere. And I'm like, we got to take the U-Haul back. So Aaron's like, well, how am I going to get the furniture off? And I was like, well, I guess I'm going to help you. So Judd runs and gets a first aid kit. And he says, what do we need? And opens it up. I'm like,
okay,
we don't need any of this. We need a towel at this point. So I'm just like wiping the blood on my pants because I'm like, we've just got to hurry. So we unload the furniture and we take the U-Haul back. And the whole time, Aaron's like calling the landlord, calling the plumber, everything's getting. He's like, a plumber's on his way. Great. So then we get back, and Aaron says, we're about to get out of the car, and he says, oh, God, the hot water heater is gas. There's probably gas going everywhere. Okay. Are we about to blow up, sir? What does that mean to me? So
I need you to elaborate.
Not medicated, still like haven't cleaned out the wounds, nothing. Got asphalt in my hands. I'm like picking gravel out. He's like, we just got to stay here in the car. So we just stayed in the car till the plumber got there. Well, the plumber got here and he said, no, it's not leaking gas. It's just leaking water. Oh, plumber man here. So he gets that situated and he says, well, but you're not going to have hot water tonight. I can't fix it tonight. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, so
Gosh.
Aaron says, well, I need to take her to the hospital. She fell at this point like 2 hours ago. And I'm like, at this point, if I was going to die, I'm probably already dead. And so, then I was like, no, we got to pick up our friend
Are
at
you
the
there?
airport.
Okay.
Oh, no. Please tell me you're not missing the drama of the story.
I'm back. I'm
You
back.
Okay.
Brief black screen.
Okay.
I'm good.
So Aaron says now 2 hours later,
So
we
you
got to
gotta
go to the
get a friend at the airport?
Yeah, I'm like, we can't do that. We got to pick up our friend at the airport who's going to keep our kid because we're going out of town. And he says, well, I can't just leave the plumber here. So I said, well, I think I can probably drive. I'll just like do it with like the palms of my hands. Me, concussed from the U-Haul. I'm going to drive to the airport. So I drive to the airport. I get our friend. By the time we get home, Aaron's like, do you want to go to the emergency room? And I'm like, no, I just want to go to bed. Are you still having internet issues?
Now, was your head like gashed? Oh. Listen, it's been going black, but then I still get you.
No, it's I have a little knot, but no, it wasn't bleeding. So I mean, I was like, I'm not gonna die.
So Aaron just likes the ER? Is that his thing?
Well, it did. I will say it did appear that this part of my hand was potentially broken. And so
okay.
But I was like, at this point, I can't use this hand anyway. So like we're good. So we go to bed.
It's all right.
Nobody can take a shower. We get up the next morning and he and I are going to Arkansas, right? And so still don't have hot water. So I can't take a shower. I smell funny. Still got the wounds that like, are not cleaned, really. So we get in the car. We drive to Arkansas. We get to the hotel in Arkansas. We're laying there in bed. It's nighttime. Aaron says, man, we have really had some bad luck lately. Like, yeah, we really have. So we're like joking around, like, what, we piss off some kind of gypsy? Like, whatever. He's like, yeah. I mean, like, imagine what's going to happen to this hotel now. I'm like, I don't know. So we go to bed.
Why say it?
Yeah. So we go to bed. About 3 a.m., the phone of the hotel room rings. Listen, I forget that landlines even exist. I can't figure out how to even answer the phone. I didn't know it was a phone. I thought it was the TV remote. I felt like a 95-year-old woman. Plus, I was asleep. I was groggy. But I figured out how to pick it up. I'm like, hello? And I wasn't even talking to the right end of it. And anyway, it's the front desk telling me, listen, there's a power outage in downtown Little Rock. So there's no power. Oh, okay. We're on the 4th floor. So I was like, do the elevators work? And she's like, yeah, they're on a generator. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going back to bed. And she says it's going to be on by like 7 in the morning. Like, great. I'm going back to bed. So I go to sleep. Go to sleep. Wake up next morning. Still no power. So I called down to the front desk like, hey, what's the status? They're like, they said 9 o'clock. Okay. Noon, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. We have a party to go to. We still don't have power. So I'm like, well, this is tragic. Now I was going to get my hair and makeup done anyway. So, but I still haven't showered since pre-fall. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we ordered a bunch of wet wipes. Had them delivered to the hotel because what else do you do? So we're wet wiping it up to go to a formal Christmas party at a mansion. Okay.
Oh, okay. I was going to say it was a pretty fancy party.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, we go on to the party, have it's fine time. We go out with our friends, have a great time, get back. Still no power.
Oh my gosh.
We get up the next morning. Still no power. Like, we can't charge our devices. We can't do anything. Still no shower. So I go down. So it's like, it's time to go home. So we go downstairs. I'm checking out. And I like hand the lady my keys. And she's on the phone. She's like, hey, wait a minute. I'm like, what? She's like, how many nights have you been here? I was like, 2. And she's like, oh, okay, I'm going to comp you 1. And I said, for what? And she said, because there's no power. And I said, well, there wasn't power the first night. Well, I can only do it once. I'm like, whatever.
Wow.
So that 20-minute story is what happened to us.
I'm telling you, you guys do not have a boring life. It's never dull.
No. So we were, on our way home, and Judd starts texting me from his tablet and says, "Hey, can I have a friend come over?" What? I'm not even in the state of Missouri, Kansas,
Right.
nothing, nowhere.
I just need a shower. Please don't
Like,
ask me any questions.
do you have hot water? Because I don't need nobody else stinking up the house. So that's when I start feeling the tickle in the throat too. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, good. So I'm like, sure, grab a friend. So our friend that came from North Carolina to keep him, she was like, I'm going to take him to the science center. Go ahead. You do
Okay.
whatever you want. I will say we got home. They had decorated our Christmas tree. It was very sweet.
Love that.
And she had wrapped all my presents for him.
Look
So
at
that is spectacular. The dogs have peed on 2 boxes. Don't really know what that's a whole thing. Yeah, so that was that.
Well,
That's
that's
a really long story. Welcome to Y Space. The why behind all of this, I don't know, people. That's what I'm asking myself. Why? Why? What did we do? I keep saying, what did we do?
That it is a lot of things that just happen, and then it's not like one thing happens. Then you have multiple things that we can't just deal with one and get past it.
And I mean, we haven't really talked about it a ton on the podcast, but it's not like the past 2 months have really been a walk in the park either.
No.
So I don't know.
2024 is going out with a bang.
Yeah. And to top all of this off, then the Eras tour has to end.
And then it ends. It's over.
It's done last night. Well, really this morning for us. I just want to announce to the audience that Becca here, Mama, stayed up.
The whole thing.
She saw them walk out that orange door together. What did it mean? What did it mean?
It meant nothing. It meant nothing. I stayed up the whole time thinking, something's going to happen. It's the last show. She'll do like an extra song. Like, I'm not expecting an announcement or anything crazy, but I thought something is going to happen because I needed to justify being awake at 1:30 in the morning.
1:30. Yeah. Y'all, when she was still texting me, I was like, this is a whole new world. Like,
I know. At one point, Doug rolled over and he said, I hope you're making good choices and being responsible. And I said, I'm not.
No.
None of this is responsible.
Please stay in your lane and I'll be in my lane.
Roll back over, sir.
So the whole show happened.
It did, as normal. It was a
normal show. She did wear the same outfits.
Yes, which there were cameras
everywhere.
Two of the songs, they were actually on the stage with her. Now, the rest of it, I noticed them around the sides of the stage more than I had noticed before. So, I mean, I liked that she kept it normal. She ended it the way that it started.
Yeah.
I did expect her to get emotional in some parts. I was kind of surprised that she did it. But I thought maybe, like, I was happy that she was able to kind of take it all in and just get to experience all of that. Because that's a huge thing to finish.
Yeah. I saw some of the videos from nights 1 and 2 where it looked like there were a couple times that she did get pretty emotional.
Yes.
And so I'm assuming she probably took some Xanax or something. I mean, I did. But yeah, it kind of looked like at the end when they all do that, when she and the dancers line up at the end of Karma and they take their bow together. I think you could see her say, like, oh my God, several times. Like, it just looked like she was like, wow.
Look, we did it.
Look what we did. Yeah. They were, now the dancers were a wreck.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was a wreck. I mean, I wasn't in a good place.
No. And I think if you put yourself into their shoes, this is their job the last 2 years. Like, they've left their families for huge chunks of time.
Yeah.
And so I imagine they are extremely close. And so then you wake up the next day and it's all over. You have to find a new normal now. Like, that's got to be such a mind thing.
Well, and I just think too, like, I'm sure it will take months, if not years, to process everything and everywhere they went, what all they did.
Yes.
I mean, I think it's going to take us as society years to like process what she did.
I mean, it's historical.
She did come out today. Her team did finally, I say finally, I guess it's not, I don't know. Anyway, I promise I can speak English. They have gone this entire time and not released numbers. Her team personally.
Yes.
She did finally, her team released them to the New York Times this morning, and they are mind-blowing.
Wow.
I took a lot of pictures of things on my phone, so I'm going to be looking at my phone a lot because
Okay, good.
when you're missing a finger, well, I mean, it's not gone, but it's useless.
Understood.
It's just easier than typing notes. But one of the notes that I had, so statistics, all right, we got here. The Eras Tour sold a total of $2 billion worth of tickets, which makes it the highest grossing tour ever. But here's what I found interesting about this.
Holy cow.
As someone who never got the ticket from the actual Ticketmaster,
Yeah.
that is based on only original sales. So the ticket price average was $204. That
Oh.
amount does not include all of the money that we spent on tickets.
Because of the resale tickets?
Because she doesn't get that money.
Oh.
Right.
That makes sense.
So $2 billion? Psh, I bet you could double that based on what people really paid.
Easily.
I mean, what I personally paid was not right.
Yeah.
Anyway, 10 million fans attended the concerts. Biggest night was Melbourne at 96,000. She played the historic 8 nights at Wembley, which drew in 753,000 people.
Wow.
Now here, this is crazy to me. Based on these statistics, that means 1 in every 1,000 people. 1 in every 1,000 people. Okay, this is a good show. In the entire world, I'm not talking about the United States. 1 in every 1,000 people in the world saw the Eras Tour in person.
I don't know that that's a stat we can truly wrap our mind around.
No.
That's bonkers.
Is absolutely, like, seriously
the
insane.
entire world.
So, that whole, like, what the tour was on an average ticket price of $204 because that's what most people paid when they got them off of Ticketmaster when it happened, like the 3 people that were able to do that.
Right.
When you take into account the secondary market, it was really more than 10 times that. The average ticket price in the secondary market was $2,900.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it literally is just absolutely mind-blowing.
And then all of the cities that she goes to, boosting their economy with tourism, all of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
No other person in history currently living, I don't believe, could do the same thing.
No. Well, I mean, they've proven that they can't. Like, no. And I think that that's what artists, I hope that that's what a lot of these artists, especially the bigger name ones, I hope they don't try to, because I think that's going to belittle their own work.
100%.
Like, just let it be,
Agreed.
I guess some buffoon's going to. I'm sure Billie Eilish or something is going to give away a bunch of flannel shirts or something. I don't know. But I do want to talk about the surprise songs.
Okay.
Your favorite topic.
Well,
they're confusing to me.
They've been confusing since night 1. So,
well, night 1. She did Haunted, which I love, but mashed it up with Wonderland.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to take from that. And then she did what a lot of people thought was kind of like a tribute to her parents. She did Never Grow Up in the Best Day, which
yes, loved that.
That was really sweet, but also as a parent. The second night, my girl Gracie came out. And they did I Love You, I'm Sorry again, which I freaking love. And then they sang Last Kiss together. Which was amazing. And then she did, because we can't have another show without it, she did Maroon and Tortured Poets Department mashed up, which actually really worked well together.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about the lore, but anyway, it is weird. And then last night we pretty much, I have no idea what was happening on the guitar. A Place in This World and New Romantics, I don't understand.
I'm still firmly in the camp. I do think that there are some nights that she mashes up some of the songs for a reason, for someone that's there or for something that's happened. The date is significant. I do believe that. However, the majority of them, I think that she's just mashing up songs.
I really hope in the documentary she explains what's happening, because that one I didn't get. But the piano, we were pretty much accurate.
Yes.
We said, and she did, Long Live New Year's Day and the manuscript. I do have on my Long Live sweatshirt.
So fitting.
And that's when I cried, was during that part. I don't know that I have ever heard Long Live and not cried. So
I don't know that it's possible to.
That New Year's Day is my song with Aaron. And so in the manuscript, it was just perfect.
It was good.
But yeah, it was the perfect ending. And we got our final Karma is the Guy on the Chiefs coming straight home to me. And at about 5 o'clock this morning, I confirmed she landed here in Kansas City.
There you go.
So welcome home.
Settle in for the holidays.
Yeah. And I didn't get to see a lot of the show because I was at the Chiefs game.
You were.
But before we talk about that, though, you stayed up late and watched the show, but you also did something else this weekend that's weird for you.
Listen, I got out of the house. That is in general.
Listen, did you wear real pants and
real everything?
What in the world? Okay.
I was out of the house on Friday. I was out of the house on Saturday. I was out of the house on Sunday.
Now, I knew we did one thing, but this is a lot.
Listen, I'm telling you what, I don't know who I've become. I don't
weird.
know that I'm leaning into this lane, but we had a fun weekend.
Well, all right. Tell us about the Spurs game.
Friday night, we went to the Spurs game here in San Antonio, which I didn't realize really not a far drive to get to the arena.
How long have y'all lived there again?
Listen, almost 5 years.
Okay.
Traffic was not bad. And we left at like rush hour. We left when we got off at 5. Thought it would be bad because, game starts at 7, doors open at 6. About 45-minute drive with traffic. So we need to leave at 5. Because your girl's not trying to sit in the back of a parking lot and then have to walk a mile. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
So got there early, walk in. We had the best time ever.
Oh, good.
I know next to nothing about the actual rules of basketball. There were so many times that Ryder and I looked at each other and we were like, we really should have Googled what a foul is because they were calling them left and right. And we were like, what did he do? Unless it was flagrant, I had no idea.
Okay, got it.
But so much fun. The boys had a blast. There was one player, Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, Wemby.
I can say that. I was real pumped to watch him play. They decided 4 minutes before game time that he would not be playing.
Okay.
So I was like, listen, you couldn't have toughed it out for 1 or 2 shots and then sat down. But it is what it is. He was still out on the bench, so we still got to see him and stuff. But there's a player named Zach Collins. Listen, I don't know anything about him. He could be super famous in the NBA world. I don't know.
He's not.
Every time he came out on the court, which was not a lot in the first part, he just looked mad at something. Couldn't tell.
Listen, you never know what somebody's going through. His hot water heater could have busted.
It could have. It could have, but he wasn't over it. But it was it was very obvious, the things that he was doing, like grabbing somebody's waist and twisting them. Shoving them, things that even I know you can't do.
Yeah.
I don't know what he did, and he was getting subbed out. I think he was mad about that. I think another player said something to him, and he was mad about that. Yeah. I guess the ref had warned him as he was walking. So he's up on the Jumbotron because we're all trying to figure out what's happening right now because the game has stopped. He turns around to the ref and throws up the bird at the ref.
Well,
while he's on the Jumbotron and we're all watching. So gets ejected. Listen. Yeah. And that place cheered. So I was like, Zach Collins must not be liked in San Antonio because it's a home game and we're cheering for this guy to get ejected.
Maybe they were just excited about the drama.
Maybe. I don't know. It was a very good game back and forth. Sacramento Kings is who we
Yep.
played.
Yep.
They won. They did not give up and played through the end. I would say the Spurs gave up probably towards the end of the third quarter, and they were like, we would like to go lay down now. So it was so much fun. And then
Yeah.
we're like, listen, got to our car and we were out onto the road in 5 minutes. I will take that in and out. Those cops have it down. The roads all around it was at Frost Bank Center, have like these lights above the lanes. So parts of the day they're two ways, but then after games and stuff, it's all one way so that everybody can get out and they don't let traffic come the other way.
Okay. I
I'm
mean,
here for it. I'm here for if I'm out late, I can get back home real quick.
yeah. It doesn't go that way when you go to a Chiefs game. Just
When
so
you said how long it took y'all to get out of the parking lot, I was like, I'm done.
Yeah,
can't
your
do
girl
that.
was done too. And like I said, I was telling you, we couldn't get a signal, so I couldn't watch the show.
Yeah.
I couldn't even get my text to go through to you to find out if anything was happening. Like
Right.
it was a whole
Now
thing.
listen, because it was cold there last night and it's a late game, so that makes it even colder. Do you have like electric warmer things on your body, or are you just layering
so,
up and hoping for the best?
so we had some mistakes here with this situation. When I looked at the weather, it said it was going to be 49 degrees like throughout the game.
Okay.
And now in San Antonio, I understand 49 would be extreme.
Right.
But here, when we went to like the -30 game, I'm like, we don't need our ski bibs. Did my child even wear a coat? No. Did my husband wear a coat? No. Now I took a coat because I'm cold in 75-degree weather.
Right.
Did the child that we took with us wear a coat? Yeah, I don't know why he knew to. I don't know. So the boys wore sweatshirts, jerseys over, and jeans. And Crocs.
As you do.
Now they did have socks on.
Well,
There's
that's
that. Aaron
Wait, that's
had
all
on.
though?
What?
That's all. They're not like in like.
No, that was it.
Oh my!
That was it. Aaron wore a sweatshirt with a jersey over it, a pair of jeans, and some tennis shoes. That was it. I had on leggings.
Okay.
A sweatshirt, my Aaron Andrews Chief sweatshirt, and that was it. That was it. Now I took a coat. So I did do that. And I did think to myself, hey, I'm going to grab, because it can get really windy in Arrowhead. So I grabbed everybody's beanies. So everyone had a beanie. So I do feel like that was the only responsible decision I made, because it was 49 degrees, but the feels like was 37.
Oh my gosh.
Should have checked that part. And then it sprinkled. It was misting. We were under the overhang.
Okay.
But it was still blowing in. It was a thing.
There was one when I texted you and said, "Is it raining there?" Because like the cameras would look a little wet, but the players did not look, so I couldn't tell what was happening.
Now I don't know if this is true, because I'm a firm believer that if it's like above freezing, that the precipitation coming down is not snow or ice. Okay, that I don't know if that's true, but that's what I believe. Aaron, however, does not believe that.
Okay.
On the way there, he said it's snowing. Aaron, it is 51 degrees right now. It is not snowing. Now, I will tell you that whatever was coming down at the game was not the texture of rain. So, I don't know. It was weird.
Okay.
But no, I didn't wear my heated stuff. I didn't wear my fleece stuff. I didn't wear my ski bibs. Massive mistakes.
I don't think I could have made it from the car to the arena.
I had to get hot chocolate. I had to get hot chocolate because my throat was hurting and I needed to be warmed. That made my stomach hurt. That was a whole thing. Yeah. And then we get about halfway out of the stadium and the kid that we took with us says, "Oh, I left my coat inside." Why did we not have it on, first of all?
Right.
So Aaron goes back to get the coat. So I stay in with the boys, who proceed to high five every individual leaving the stadium, which was super cute. Very fun.
Precious.
Aaron calls me like 25 minutes later. And he says, "Hey, where are you?" I'm right where you left me. "Oh, I'm outside." "Sir, what are we doing?" And we also we had a parking pass, which I don't even understand why you buy the parking pass because we still had to walk like 2 miles.
Oh, no.
And then you're still stuck in traffic because you
No.
and 75,000 other people are trying to leave.
Listen.
It's the
No.
whole thing. But no, I was not dressed appropriately.
But you had fun.
Had fun, had a great time. We had some really fun people sitting around us.
Well, that helps.
It actually turned out that the 5 seats in front of us were empty. And so we let the boys stand in front of us so they could stand in the seats.
Yeah.
Donna and Ed, Kelsey right behind us.
Yes.
Got to see Ross, and I saw Eric, and I saw Kumar. And the uncle that's always with Donna.
Oh, yeah.
I don't his name. Uncle Don, I think. Saw all them. They were right behind us, but they were not in the usual Kelsey suite. So that does not mean we would have been right there with Taylor because I guess I don't really know why, but they were not in the normal one.
Fair enough.
But I did get to see McCole's wife.
Oh, we love her.
I gotta tell you, I don't know how she says her name. I think it's Chariah, like Mariah.
That's how I've always said it in my head. No idea if it's right.
She is gorgeous.
I mean, she pictures really well, so I can imagine.
Well, some people just photograph well. No, she is stunning.
Really?
I caught myself staring at her. I was like, oh, wow, you are really beautiful. And this is weird.
But you are beautiful.
Yeah. She's very beautiful. Looked like she was having a fantastic time too. The game though.
Listen.
Okay, so I have a lot of thoughts. First of all, the first series we came out and I was like, all right, we're killing it.
Yeah.
And then we still didn't get a touchdown. And I was like, how does this keep happening? People behind us were super great. People next to us were Chargers fans, but they weren't even real Chargers fans. I mean, they had all the gear on.
Okay.
But it was a lady from here that she said that when she was a little kid, she was trying to piss her dad off. And so she just told him she was going to become a Chargers fan, and she's just stuck with it. I thought that was hilarious.
Love the commitment.
Yeah. Everyone around us, of course, loved Judd and his little friend Javon. Of course, they were dancing, going crazy. But we're all commenting to each other, like, how many times are we going to get to the red zone and still not score?
A lot. It was
apparently almost every time. So, okay, that was my first note because when they came in that first series, I was like, okay, we're back. This is it. We're here.
I thought we had gotten it together.
And so I was like, well, okay. I don't know where the offensive line was yesterday. I don't know if Patrick is not giving them a good gift for Christmas this year.
Listen, I'm going to need Coach Nagy, however you say it, sir. Take a seat. Let's chat. First off, our play calling, what are we doing?
Deplorable.
We've got Hunt, we've got Pacheco, and on a good day, we've got Carson Steele.
Yeah.
Why are we throwing the ball when your O-line can't protect your quarterback?
No.
And then when you kept telling me that Carson was warming up on the sideline.
Okay, so I don't know what this was about. And maybe this happens all the time and we're watching on TV so we don't see it. But I've been to a lot of Chiefs games. Now, this was the first Chiefs game I've been to where Carson has been the backup because all last year it was Blaine.
Yes.
I never saw Blaine warm up at all, except the one time Blaine had to go in for one play. He
always had a beanie on and he was sitting on the bench. So as soon as Patrick came, they would chat about the play.
Nope. Carson was decked out. He had his helmet on. I never saw his helmet come off. He had his hand warmer on. He was constantly stretching, constantly throwing the ball with different players on the sideline, different coaches. He never once stopped.
And so when you told me that, I was like, well, is that because they know their O-line is crap and they are expecting Patrick to get hurt?
Well, so me and the people around us, of course, we had a lot of theories. First of all, he was getting hammered. So I didn't know if they were like, okay, he's probably about to get hurt, so we need Carson warming up. I didn't know if it was that. I had this one thought, like, are they thinking that we're going to get ahead in this game and we can take him out so he doesn't get hurt?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know.
Which was a lofty dream.
Yeah. Which, have they watched this season? That couldn't have been it. But I will tell you that apparently the lady behind me was telling me for 2 hours before the game, Carson was out on the field warming up.
Oh, wow.
Makes me wonder if Patrick's hurt.
I
don't
mean,
know.
it
don't
is
know.
interesting.
It just felt
Especially-
very weird. And it was like every time out, Carson would run out on the field and start warming up, throwing passes with people every time out. And every TV timeout's every 30 seconds.
Right.
It was really odd. That does not happen. So
That's
I don't know what's going on there, but it made me very nervous. Now, I mean, of backup quarterbacks, I'm good with having Carson Wentz, but I need Patrick Mahomes.
The amount of times he was sacked last night, what are we doing?
It was like Creed didn't even show up to the game. I don't know. And we started DJ Humphries. So he's the new guy they picked up 2 weeks ago. He's coming off an ACL injury. Yep, he jacked up his leg again. So they had to put Wanye back in. But it looked like Wanye came in and was like, okay, they took my job the first time and gave it to the rookie kid, Suamata or whatever. And then I got my job back. And now they took my job again. And so but he came out with a vengeance, which we need. That's the blind side. Like
on the TV, when he came out onto the field to replace Humphries, he walked over and Travis goes up to him, bumps. Travis is screaming at him. Like you can tell he is pumping him up. This is your time. Get out. So I clearly, and it went on for a second or two. So I was like, there's something more to this story because Travis was like building him up, getting him so pumped to be on that line. And I was like, okay, this might help us a little.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you what I noticed about Trav. He always kind of like loafs around during warm-ups. When it was like, he was coming out probably not every other play, but pretty close to it. It looked like he wanted to crawl to the sideline and not like I don't want to come out. Like he looked broken. Like he wasn't limping. He wasn't holding anything, but there were a couple of times that I saw him like really stretching his hamstrings in the huddle.
Yeah.
And there were a couple of times where I saw him like bend over. So I don't know if he was banged up, but he looked like a 95-year-old man.
I do have to wonder though, like with all of the injuries that they have and the things that may not be considered like season-ending injuries or things that take them out of games, their bodies are still not at 100%. So I would imagine when it's a cold game, surely things are not clicking like they normally would, or they can't work through some of the things that typically on a normal game with better weather, they could push past. I don't listen. One hit and I'd have been done. So the fact that these guys have been doing it for years.
Yeah.
I
don't know. I have this little gut feeling, and it increased last night when I saw Patrick's press conference when they asked him something about Travis, and he said it almost makes him emotional. I think that this is it.
Listen, we thought that last year, though.
I know, but I really do think this is the end. I think that's why he kind of worded it that way. I think that's part of why Travis is so frustrated, but aside from the fact that things are just weird right now. But I was like, surely we're at the game. He's finally going to break the record. Nope, no touchdown.
Now he did make NFL history last night.
He did, but I'm telling you, he was open the entire game.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Listen.
Patrick had no time, though. Like, absolutely.
I was going to say, Patrick has to see something fast and get that ball out because first off,
and I will say
last night, I still don't understand, but he doesn't have time to see the whole field because your O-line is cracking.
And this is what I've decided I think the issue is right now between Patrick and Travis. I think Travis has slowed down, literally. And so because he's got to see him so quick, that's why several times when he has thrown to him, it's been behind him or in front of him and not to him.
Right.
It's because I think he's expecting Trav to be like at that speed, and I don't think he can do it.
Yeah.
And I think that because I have even thought like it's kind of annoying listening to New Heights when he always complains about his game, but I think it's because he's mad at like it has like he said he was going to play till the wheels fall off, and I think the wheels are like teetering.
Well, and I think Jason even said it, like, mentally, he could keep playing, but he
Yeah.
knew
Yeah.
physically he could not play to the ability anymore. And obviously there's a lot of players that I think get to that point. Potentially Travis could be there. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. So we won on a doink off of the field goal. I couldn't watch it. I literally turned around to the guy behind me. I said, just react and I'll know. And he was like, got you. I'm with you.
And y'all were so the TV broadcast was about 15 seconds, 10 to 15 seconds behind live.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I was like, do I wait to see if Mandy texts me something because I can't watch this?
Yeah.
Or what do I do? Because when I realized that Patrick was spiking the ball to run that clock down, I said, oh, they're solely putting everything on. We're not
well,
even
the lady behind me, he spiked it the first time, and I turned around to her, and I was like, did he just spike the ball? And she was like, what are we doing? And I was like, I don't know. And then I thought maybe, like, they didn't have the play ready, so I was like, oh, it's just a little snafu. And then he did it again, and I was like, we don't even know this guy. Like, if it's Butker, okay, yeah, sure. We don't know this kid. I know nothing. Who are you? Do you know how to kick the ball? I don't know.
Listen,
we gave that entire game to that little kid that we don't even know.
Right. When I was already stressing when Patrick started spiking the ball and realizing we're putting all of this on our kicker, who's new. And then he gets out there and that ball goes so far left. And I thought, oh, no. And then it doinked. And so from the TV, we can't tell where it went after it doinked. So I don't know if it still went between the uprights or if it doinked and came back out. So we were having to watch the players on the field to figure out what was happening.
Yeah. Well, I was like, I literally turned my back to it. The guy was like right here to me. And I see his face, like his eyes get really big and then his head turns kind of funny. And then everybody erupts. And I was like, what happened? He goes, it hit the field goal post. I was like, what?
Yeah.
So I turned around and I like watched the replay and I was like, well, holy hell. Like listen, I mean,
a win is a win, but
a win is a win, but I've got more pictures of notes that I took here. What is this? Where is my note? It's something like, maybe I lost it. What is this, like 17 games? Oh, no, maybe I actually wrote this down. I did. I actually made some notes.
Look at you.
15th straight win in a one-score game, including in the playoffs. This is not good for my health.
No. Even there was a post-game interview and Chris Jones was like, we like to keep the audience engaged the whole time. And I was like, you can leave us out.
Chris, like, my man.
Right.
I will have to say I was a bit of a struggle because, I'm in a bit of a slugfest in our fantasy football.
Yes.
And so the top 4 seeds, me, my friend Megan, her daughter Jarrett, Aaron's best friend Brian, we all played each other this weekend.
Oh, okay.
So I had Cameron Dicker, the kicker, for the Chargers, and I had Gus Edwards for the Chargers because I usually have J.K. Dobbins for the Chargers.
Yeah.
So, I'm like, okay, I need you guys to like get me enough points, but I need y'all to not get enough points to win the game. And then honestly, we should have never gotten in the position to win that game, except that Cameron Dicker made the illegal kickoff.
Yeah.
And right when it happened, we couldn't tell what happened. I thought that it somehow I knew it went too far to not have blown off the tee.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, what? I didn't know what happened. So it wasn't until I got home and read that it just didn't go all the way to the landing zone. And I was like, what are we doing?
Yeah, that feels like
it cost me the fantasy football game. So thank you, Cameron Dicker. But this secured the 9th straight AFC West.
Which impressive.
I mean, especially is the way we're playing. So right now we still have the number 1 playoff seed, which comes with that first round playoff bye and home field advantage. The Bills losing yesterday helped. So
Yeah.
we're leading the Bills and the Steelers by 2 games each. So let me ask you this before we talk about the other games. If we get all the way to the Steelers game on Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
and we win until then, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we secure the number 1 seed. It's ours, no matter what happens in that game. Would you rest the starters?
Probably.
I got to think so, surely.
Which we did last year.
I think
I'm pretty certain we rest. Like Patrick might have gone out for a couple of plays, but you have to rest them. We can't, with how the season's gone.
Well, because like with this game and then the Browns game, the Texans game, and the Steelers game, that's like all in 10 days.
Yeah.
That's a lot. And these poor boys, I'm telling you, they look beat up.
Well, and they play more than any other team because they go so far into the playoffs. Then they play the Super Bowl. I was watching, was it Chase Daniel? This morning, I saw a clip of his show, and he was saying since Patrick has been the starter for the Chiefs, they have played 18 extra games because of their playoffs. That's an entire extra season that they have played. Like, these boys do not get the rest and recoup time, which is good because that means you're winning and doing really well. But your bodies are taking so much more of a beating for this. And when any team plays the Chiefs, those teams are giving anything and everything they've got to play them. So their games are harder. I mean, look at the Panthers when they played them. Like, you're still having to play your best football to beat off some of these lesser teams.
Yeah, I will say Justin Herbert, I call him Old Faithful. First of all, I never realized how tall he is. Very tall.
He seems tall.
But he had a heck of a game. When he went down, the little Chargers fans around us were very panicked. And I said, "Who's your backup?" And she goes, "Oh, he's on the IR. We don't know who this kid is." And I was like, "Oh, awesome. Okay, great."
I'm going to tell you, at the beginning of the game, you could tell Justin was already nursing some kind of a discomfort.
Yeah, she said that his leg is not in a good spot. No. But, I mean, the Chargers look good. That do you remember the guy that got drafted? And we commented when he got drafted about how huge he was, that Joe Alt?
Yes.
That dude looks like he's the size of a bulldozer.
Listen, he looks gigantic.
I mean, but so athletic. But, yeah, he is freaking huge.
I didn't realize his dad played for the Chiefs.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they showed it on the TV last night. His family was at the game. I was like, for like 12, 13 years.
Wish he was with the Chiefs because he's a big mountain, let me tell you.
Yeah, huge.
You mentioned the Panthers, though. Did you catch any of the Panthers-Eagles game?
I might have seen a clip or two, but I didn't. It wasn't on the TV.
I didn't see any of it. I think this one might be on me. Because the Eagles struggled with the Panthers, and I think that might be on me.
Yeah.
It's on me, and it's also on Jalen Hurts' passing game.
Which AJ Brown's not happy about.
Threw his helmet. Very unhappy.
Talk to the media about how unhappy he was.
And honestly, I mean, you're wrong.
Those two had been on the same page for a while. I do wonder if there's a little bit of jealousy that Saquon has come in and he's the new girlfriend. And, maybe there's some problems there.
Yeah.
I mean, it seemed like a lot of back and forth, but it seemed like the Panthers kind of came out strong. Listen, Bryce has found his confidence. His O-line has done a little bit better for him to give him some time to get some plays made. Still not quite enough because the other teams have the veterans that know how to push it at the end of the game to secure that.
Yeah.
But super close game, 16-22.
But, yeah, I feel bad for the Panthers. That Jonathan Brooks guy from Texas looks like he went out again with a same knee injury he had at Texas. Remember, he fell in the draft because he was coming off the ACL injury, and it looked like it happened again last night. But Saquon did reach another milestone again, proving to me that he should be the MVP, but he passed LaShawn McCoy's record of 1,600 yards in a season, and he still has 4 games left. Holy
impressive.
Yeah. But yeah, I liked when the reporters asked AJ Brown in the locker room, like, what do the Eagles need to improve on? And he just like deadpans and says, passing. I was like, okay.
Which he's not wrong.
No.
Even if, because when I first saw that, I was like, that feels like maybe you just want to be the star, and you don't care that you got the win. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, no, that's something that we've always said all before the season started. Jalen has got to work on his passing game. So
yeah, I'm still of the camp that the Eagles could make the Super Bowl, but you're one injury to Saquon away from being nothing.
Yeah.
And
unless you can get AJ back into the game plan.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if we keep going the way we're going and Jalen can't throw the ball right, like,
yeah,
I don't know. And I needed Devonta Smith to have a bigger game to help me. Again, did not help me.
He's not. And
he's banged up too, though. Hamstring, concussion, nothing helping my fantasy team.
No.
Nobody cares about me.
I would be interested to see how many targets he's gotten this year, too. Doesn't seem like Jalen's going to him as much. But of course, you have more weapons this year than you've had before.
Well, I'm wondering is this like Kellen Mond needs to just settle in as the offensive coordinator, or is he the wrong fit for Jalen?
He's a better fit than what they had before, but I don't know if he's the completely right fit for him.
Yeah. Well, and again, like, what did he do with Dak in Dallas? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they never really got where they should have gotten with Dak either.
I feel like Kellen likes to try things, and Dak is not confident in doing that. So I think there was a constant butting of heads there too.
Yeah. Well, another team lost yesterday that I was thrilled about. Excuse me. Couldn't happen to a better guy again, and Mr. Aaron Rodgers lost in overtime. He had a huge game though, 339 yards. He only threw one touchdown.
They're scoring more points than I'm expecting them to score in games.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, they got 26. But like I'm expecting like maybe 7, maybe 6.
Well, and the thing is, these overtime rules are really,
I don't love it.
I don't either, because had that overtime coin toss gone differently and the Jets had gotten the ball, they very easily could have won too, which I would have been pissed. So I was glad that the Dolphins got it, but Tua, I don't know.
The Dolphins are struggling too.
Yeah, I know. Like, I just don't.
But when they got that coin toss, and I thought Tua and Tyreek are going to make sure that something happens here. So,
yes, I was glad they won. The 49ers finally won again.
Okay, I didn't see anything about this game.
Okay, so I saw some bits and pieces of it. It seemed like Brock was kind of back to being Brock, so I don't know if his arm, whatever, is better.
Okay.
He threw like over 300. He had 2 touchdown passes. We're down to the third string running back in San Francisco. Isaac Guerrero, I don't know. But listen, this dude ran for 128 yards. So that's fine. Let's go with that. George Kittle had 151 yards. That helps. Was their highest scoring game of the season. But let me tell you, Caleb Williams, that's another guy whose offensive line apparently hates him. He got sacked 7 times. And that now makes him having been sacked 56 times this season. 56.
That's wild.
That apparently is a record in the NFL for the most sacks since 1970.
Now, I will say, I don't think that he has quite gotten himself adjusted to the pace of an NFL game. It's much faster.
Yeah.
I do think he has gotten better with how quickly he releases the ball, but you've got to do better, my guy, when your O-line is crap.
Well, the only person he seems to have any chemistry with is that Rome, Adunzo or whatever. He had, I think, 2 touchdowns, but he doesn't seem to have chemistry with the rest of the team. And we've talked about this, like that personality coming into the locker room.
I saw, it was a clip this morning from one of the sports broadcasters, and they were saying you have to get a coach in there that has worked with Caleb before. And I thought that makes perfect sense, because I think of oftentimes like the IT world. Those people are used to dealing with IT people and how they talk all day long. And then you have to go and communicate with a regular person. Our words don't make sense to each other.
Yeah.
You need somebody that is used to Caleb Williams, his personality. This is how he comes across, but this is actually what his intention is. This is how he plays best and is comfortable.
Yeah.
And that person be the mediator between the two. Because I think if you don't get somebody that is comfortable and has had previous experience with him, we're going to have the same issue next year.
Yeah. That's a really good analogy.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other stat that I saw, let's see, Chicago was outgained 319 yards to 4 yards in the first half of the game.
Listen, I did see that stat. I was probably on Instagram and I was like, what?
Only one first down in the entire half.
Yeah, I think somebody said the water boy got more yards than they did in the first.
I mean, you ain't lying. So, like, that's insane.
That's, we gotta clean up.
Tonight for Monday Night Football, we've got the Bengals versus the Cowboys in Dallas. I did see that Joe Burrow has a new girlfriend.
Oh, I have not seen this. Okay.
She's in her 40s, and she has 3 children. I'm sure they're happy. I don't know if that's playing into things. Maybe it's the hair, but I don't know.
Listen, whoever his last girlfriend was that he was with, even when he was at LSU, he played better with her. My God.
I'm just saying this one may not be the one. So we'll see what happens. Are we still thinking? Are you still going Bengals?
I'm going Bengals, but I'm not dead set on either. I won't be surprised who wins this.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you, I have a bad feeling that if the Bengals lose, Jamar Chase may hurt someone.
Listen, I think he will blow on the sidelines.
I think that helmet will be thrown. He will pull an A.J. Brown. Yep. It ain't going to be good.
Good. Nope.
Okay, so for the week ahead, though, we've got the Rams at the 49ers, which I'm actually kind of excited about because the Rams took down the Bills yesterday.
Listen.
Which we needed as Chiefs fans. I hate to see Josh Allen lose, but we needed that.
Which was wild because Josh played really well yesterday. But the Rams just did better.
He set the record for the most fantasy football points of a quarterback in the history of fantasy football.
Yeah.
Mind blowing.
And still lost the game. Like crazy.
Yeah. But so the Rams will be at San Francisco, but like LA, San Francisco, it's all kind of the same-ish.
Right. I'm going to lean towards 49ers if Brock Purdy is back to being Brock Purdy.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think, here's where I think it might be a little bit of a gotcha, because I think that the Rams are not going to be as confident that their team is back because they aren't playing a lot of their starters because they're still dealing with injuries. So, and it's at home. So I'm going to lean 49ers on this one.
I just don't.
Did we freeze?
Oh, no. Can you hear me? Do we need to call the IT department?
I'm good. Are we good?
I'm good. You've never frozen to me today, though. So
maybe.
I'm actually going to go Rams.
That's wild because it's been really bad today.
I'm going to go Rams.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I like it.
I think Puka I think he's healing up. Matthew Stafford is a good quarterback.
He's very consistent.
Yeah.
And we don't have a lot of that in the NFL.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to go Rams, partially because I like to be different. The Chiefs are going to be at the Browns. We don't predict their games. But I think it's fun that Trav gets to go home to Cleveland. I bet it will be Cleveland Heights up.
Yes.
In that suite. And I hope Taylor goes because it's her birthday weekend.
Do we think Taylor will go?
I think so. It's her birthday
Family
weekend.
will be there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm also going to make a prediction.
Okay.
Paul Sidoti, her longtime guitar player, is from Cleveland and a huge Browns fan. And I am going to predict that he will be in the suite with her, with his wife.
How fun would that be?
I don't even know if it's going to happen, but I just think it would be so fun.
I love it. We'll put it out there.
So that's the only prediction we'll make about that game. Okay. Bengals at the Titans.
Bengals.
I mean,
Listen,
sure. What? I mean, right.
if they lose this game,
Woo!
adventure
Woo!
yourselves. Will Levis can't do anything but a mayonnaise commercial, you guys.
I mean, listen.
Come on.
Yeah. Zach
Oof.
Taylor would be fired before the game was even over.
Yep.
Uh,
Book
yeah.
yourself a coach flight somewhere else because mercy. Yeah.
All right. Dolphins at Texans.
So I noted Dolphins on here.
Okay.
I
You
don't
seem
know that
very
I'm sold on
confident.
it.
I was going to
No.
say, you seem very
Because
confident.
now,
in that.
well, Texans have not been playing as well. They're not, it doesn't seem communicating as well with each other on the field, which again, I think that's a Diggs issue. But I put Dolphins, so I'm going to go with it. And I don't have a why behind it.
Yeah. I'm going to go Texans.
Okay.
And I'm going to hope that they like put everything out on the line in that game so that they are depleted when they come to play the Chiefs.
Listen, I like that theory. Let's do that.
Now, this is a juggernaut of a game here. The Jets versus the Jaguars.
I do think Aaron Rodgers will get a win.
But only because Trevor Lawrence is hurt.
100%. Mac Jones, not a good quarterback in the NFL.
No, my guy, I know he's one of your Alabama boys, but no.
No, but we didn't even know. When he came to the NFL, none of us were like, he's your guy. That's the one. They didn't even score any points until the fourth quarter this past week.
Oh, man. I don't even understand. Yeah.
So
no, I think Aaron will finally get a win.
That'll settle him for a week.
Do what?
I said that'll settle him down at least for a week.
Well, I don't need that to happen. But all right. Cowboys at the Panthers?
I'm going Panthers.
Oh, I like it. I kind of hope it happens.
Right? Listen, home field advantage. Bryce is getting some confidence. They are having some closer games. I think they could pull out a win here.
I hate that Jonathan Brooks is hurt.
Yeah, not great.
No. I'm going to go Cowboys, but I would love it if the Panthers won. This next one is a huge game. Bills at the Lions. Huge. I mean, because like a lot of people think that could be the Super Bowl.
Listen, that's going to be a fun game to watch.
Yeah. It's in Detroit.
Which I'm going to lean Lions on this one only because home field advantage.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a one-score game. I think it's going to come down to the very last play. Whoever has the ball is going to take the win.
Sounds like the Lions are getting, the poor Lions. Well, I feel like every team is beat up, but it sounds like they're getting a lot of people back this week.
Okay.
So I'm going to go Bills because I like it when we're different, but
okay.
I can't wait to see this game.
It'll be good.
This next one too, I think is a big one. Steelers at the Eagles because Russell Wilson's kind of finding his swagger again.
Yeah, he's doing really well. I wouldn't be surprised if they pull out a win. I'm going to lean Eagles again just because it's home game and they've been on a streak. But if they don't get momentum going fast, I think Steelers will take it.
I'm going to go Steelers on this one because I think TJ Watt's going to be able to contain Saquon.
God, he's fun to watch.
Yeah, and I think the matchup of the two of them, that'll be another fun one to watch too. Great games coming up.
Yes.
How'd your fantasy team do this week?
Listen, I've quit.
Oh, it's just over.
My team quit.
Yeah.
When my kicker was my second highest scorer. Which again, I have the Chiefs kicker and he saved the day. So
yeah.
I've done really well taking all the Chiefs kickers. Every time that like somebody's been hurt and they've picked up one, I've gone and drafted him real quick.
Of course you have.
So he got me 16 points.
Let's see. Well, I ran into a serious issue this week because I have Lamar Jackson is my usual starter. They were on a bye.
Okay.
Drake May is my backup. They were on a bye. So I had to go out and find somebody out there. So what I did was, I had Judd drop Drew Lock. But I had him do it on Thursday. And so I wasn't going to get him till Friday and they played Thursday. So I was like, well, now I'm screwed. So I
Yeah.
had Aaron go drop Aiden O'Connell.
I just need somebody.
Whatever. So I had Aiden O'Connell. He apparently like broke his leg in the middle of the game. So I mean, it wasn't a good look.
Oh,
That wasn't great. I don't
no.
have anyone left for tonight, and I'm at 98.
Okay.
I'm playing my friend Megan. She has Jamar Chase and the Cincinnati defense left, and she's at 81. So I don't think it looks good for me.
Okay.
But
Listen,
it is what it is.
I didn't even kind of come close to winning this week, so we're good.
It's fine.
We're good.
There's been a little kerfluffle in the college football world.
Listen.
Now, as an Alabama fan, I'm sure the kerfluffle is more for you than it is for me. Well, let's start. Let's not jump ahead. Okay. Let's talk about the conference championships this weekend. Georgia beat Texas again.
Yes.
And
game. So fun to watch, though.
Yeah, it was really fun. So disappointed in the outcome. Kirby has really become a villain to me. You're lagging again, aren't you?
And I think that's a fair assumption across the board. Yes.
Carson Beck is hurt, and I think it's bad.
It's real bad.
Yeah.
It's real bad.
So
first half of that game was so sloppy on both sides of the ball. Your receivers for Georgia and your receivers for Texas couldn't catch and hold on to anything to save their life. The amount of interceptions that the defenses almost got, but then they dropped also was no, it was so sloppy. And then you get to the very last play at the second quarter. We're about to get to the locker room. Carson goes to throw a ball and somebody hits his arm. And I'm going to tell you, when he went to the sideline, and I can already see the swelling of your elbow, it's not good.
I think it's that, I forget the name of it. Is it the UCL? I think it's that same thing Brock Purdy had happen a couple seasons ago.
And again, it's your physicians online. We're saying something about could be a Tommy John surgery type situation, which that's like up to 11 months recovery.
Well, I don't like Carson Beck. So, I mean, I hate to see anybody get hurt, but
no.
Yeah, but I think, Georgia got a bye in the college football playoffs, having won the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
That'll buy them a little time with their backup gunner to keep. And I mean, he's not. Listen, here's the thing: if you're a backup at Georgia, you're still good.
Still good.
You're probably still a 4 or 5 star.
Doug kept saying when Gunner came out, and that O-line got pumped.
Yeah.
When Gunner came out, and Doug goes, "You gotta hate to be Carson right now," because he's probably sitting there like, "Why couldn't you guys do this for me?" Gunner came out, and they were like, "We got you, and he had a heck of a first few drives.
Yeah.
Did great.
I mean, I just again, when you're in the SEC, your backups are still good. So, but I mean, it's game experience, all that. And obviously with Carson going to the draft, not a good look.
That's tough to go out on. Yeah.
Oregon beat Penn State.
Yeah.
Your new favorite team, right? You and Dan Lanning are besties now.
We are. This goes to show you any given Sunday, I can change my mind.
Yeah. Very committed.
Say though, I missed somewhere in there that Oregon was undefeated. Did not realize that.
Yeah, I don't think I knew that either. And they're the only team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I knew that either until I was watching the selection show.
I'm gonna tell you, that one was a good one to watch. Their offense just seemed very steady and even keeled the whole game. Never got to, up there with hype, but never got down on themselves on bad plays. Like whatever they have coached them to get their mentality to be that way, very impressive, especially for college kids.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think too, you're at Oregon, so it's there's an expectation that you've got swagger because they have all the cool uniforms. You know what I mean? But it's also Oregon's they kind of remind me of Gonzaga in college basketball. They're always up there, but do they ever actually get there? No, not usually. But maybe this is the season. I don't know. I mean, obviously winning out has greatly helped them.
Yes.
I just realized that I took some pictures while I was watching the selection show for notes, and for some reason they're all black, so that's fun. Okay.
Oh, nice.
I'm keep it moving. The ACC game. Clemson beat SMU.
Mm-hmm.
Sure you're a real big SMU fan right now. Listen, we hadn't talked about Clemson once this season, but I think it was even Dabo said, like, everybody talks crap about me and talks crap about our team. He's like, we just keep winning.
Listen, he's not wrong.
He ain't wrong. Like,
I haven't watched a single one of their games. I did not watch Clemson versus SMU because I'm just gonna be honest, that felt very boring to me. Wasn't gonna do it. I did see where Clemson kind of came out strong and SMU was lagging, but they sure came up to meet them, and then it was like a last-minute field goal that they lost to. So that, listen, for SMU, impressive season. You guys,
yeah. Now again, I'm not completely impartial in this. I did grow up with Rhett Lashley, that's the coach of SMU, so I'm not completely impartial. I mean, I think it's impressive with what he's done. Okay.
Very.
They are impressive with money, as SMU always is anyway. But again, money talks right now in college football, and 100%. Right, wrong, or indifferent, they're set up for a lot of success with that. Yeah. So I think he's got a good shot to, have some longevity there. ACC Coach of the Year, first season as an ACC coach. I mean, hey, hats off to you, Rhett.
Good job, dude. Yeah.
You didn't play anyone, is what I'm going to say. Okay. And I watched the selection show, and I texted you and your sister yesterday when it came on. First of all, you were like, what is the selection show? And I was very confused.
I was out of it.
I had to double check. I was like, was that Laura, Rebecca? I can't. Do I need my contacts?
I realized that was happening this weekend, and I had been out of the house a lot.
That's what it was. Now I get it. You left the house, and now you're all out of whack.
Right.
I was like,
have been
what?
Used.
Which one of you just asked me that question? What is happening? I will say it started out pretty feisty. So they had the guys in the studio. Booger McFarland was, Kirk Herbstreit called him out. He said, I think that was a very low-hanging fruit grab that you just made, Booger. He goes, I don't even get what you're talking about. I was like, oh, okay. Nick Saban
got big feelings on it.
Yeah, Saban came out swinging. I mean, this was before the announcements came out, allegedly. Here's what I'll say. Reese Davis kept saying the only one in their group on this show that knew what was about to happen was the guy that did the graphics. That's what he said. Mm-hmm. He said it multiple times. I'm going to tell you Nick Saban knew at the beginning of that broadcast because he looked 100%. Pissed as hell. So there is no way he didn't know.
As soon as we got home and I turned it on, I looked at that and said, Saban's not happy. And they had not announced yet.
No.
You could instantly tell.
Yeah. So I knew just based on his demeanor that Alabama wasn't getting in.
Yeah.
And they did not. They went with SMU, and they had a lot of graphics, which I took great pictures of because I wanted to talk about them. But I don't have them. But it was essentially, it all came down to all their conversations and the decisions came down to strength of schedule, right?
Mm-hmm.
SMU, I want to say, now that I don't have my pictures, I want to say it was like 80th ranked strength of schedule. Not good, right? They didn't have any signature wins. They lost to Clemson. Now, had they won against Clemson yesterday, yeah.
Yeah.
But Alabama, again, is playing an SEC schedule. And it's just different. But so I get that argument. I get the strength of schedule argument. But I also get that Alabama lost to two really bad teams.
Right.
They lost to OU really, really bad. I don't mean by a field goal.
By a lot.
They got mollywopped by a terrible OU.
Yep.
And then they also lost to Vanderbilt, and not in baseball. Like,
right.
We're talking football.
Honestly, I think those two wins is what took them out of playoffs.
Yeah.
Listen, if you didn't earn it this year to be in the playoffs, which embarrassing with it being the first year with 12-team playoff, if you didn't earn it, you can't go in. You can't go in based on because we're Alabama. Listen, we ourselves tried to get out of the playoffs, and we succeeded. Yeah. Job well done. You guys met that goal. Not a great look for them. They should have done better this year because you are still Alabama.
Yeah.
But You didn't earn your spot in there. I did not appreciate or think it was a good look on Coach Saban to then go onto his Twitter, and he still has not deleted it. It's still on there, where he put what happened today to Alabama and the SEC is a tragedy. Listen, that feels dramatic. Let's say it was not our best season yet. Let's sit down. Let these other teams go have their moment. It wasn't our year. And I'm afraid that Saban just is used to getting in there because of who he is and who his team was. That's not who we were this year.
Well, I would just like to note for the audio, for those who are not watching on YouTube, that it was Becca that just said all of this. This was not me. I will say, Booger McFarland, that was his argument at the beginning of the selection show. He basically said that he was saying he thought Alabama would get in, and he said based on brand alone. Right. And that's when Kirk Herbstreit called him out and was like, that's low-hanging fruit.
He's not wrong.
And he's like, that's an insult to these programs. He said that's an insult to SMU, and it's an insult to the committee.
Listen, that committee is an insult to itself. Listen, they're not great.
No. And well, the fact that the Michigan athletic director is a part of the committee, like, how are you bipartisan, sir? Like,
yeah. No. And here's the thing. At the end of the day, though, and listen, if Alabama did not get in, they didn't earn their spot, don't put them in. I'm not saying you should put them in because of who they are. But we need to look at something with strength of schedule, some algorithm, something, because who in God's name wants to watch Arizona, Boise, some of these things?
Boise State is going to get massacred.
Murdered.
It's going to be a terrible game. And I think that that's what, Saban was saying something like, he brought up a point. He said, Alabama, I forget all the teams they're supposed to play in the next 4 or 5 years, but big names, right? Big games. And he said, those were the games we scheduled because that's the games people want to watch. And he said, but if I'm an athletic director, I'm going and canceling all those games.
Yeah. If it doesn't matter.
Why? And he's right. And so, like, to your point, I mean, somebody's good at numbers. It's not us.
No.
But I would think that somehow we could come up with some kind of calculation to say you beat X amount of teams, each team gets a point value, and we've got a mathematical equation, and basically let AI determine who's going to the playoffs.
Right. We got to take it out of these people's hands on the selection committee. There was a picture of the selection committee watching one of the football games this weekend, and they were all like in their leather chairs in like this mahogany office. And somebody had put, no one's drinking a beer or eating wings. We cannot trust these people. And I thought, that's accurate.
That feels right. Yeah. I'm going to tell you. So SMU got in, Alabama did not. SMU goes to Happy Valley to play Penn State. I'm going to tell you what.
Yeah.
Rhett, my guy, you're going to get mollywopped. I'm telling you what, I think Penn State's going to run all over SMU.
We'll see.
I hope I'm wrong. Hey, I hope all the success in the world for Rhett and his family. They're great people.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. You can be a fantastic human being, and doesn't mean you deserve it. Like, and I'm not even saying you're a fantastic human being. So, like, let's calm down.
It'll be interesting. I'm going to have to force myself to watch some of these games.
What bowl game did y'all end up in?
ReliantQuest, which is a cybersecurity company. It used to be the Outback Bowl, but it is ReliantQuest Bowl. So
okay. And who are you playing?
Who are we playing? Couldn't tell you.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, I don't know.
Arkansas is playing Texas Tech in the Liberty Bowl. Listen, we found out this morning Arkansas has now had our 17th starter.
Michigan.
Oh, well, that's kind of a big game to forget. Okay, we'll get to that in a second. Arkansas, it was announced this morning, our 17th starter, not player, starter, has entered the transfer portal.
Okay.
What are we doing? But we went ahead and signed Sam Pittman for another season.
Listen, that was a shocking decision. I didn't see that one coming.
We literally lost everyone. Like 17 starters. What? I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
And like all the good ones. Like not
and
just
like
the starters
that stock went up. So people aren't like jumping to come play for you.
No. We've had so many in-state flips this weekend. Bunch of kids going to Ole Miss now. Like dumpster fire. I have no idea.
A lot of people that were going to go to Alabama that are going to jump and go to
Yeah.
Boise. Who knows?
Well, and I saw KJ Jefferson, who used to be the Razorback quarterback. He went to UCF to play for Gus. Of course, Gus left. Now he's transferring again. Somebody said he's potentially coming back to Fayetteville. We don't need you, KJ. My guy, listen. You could never pull it off either. So
I wish there was a number of times you could jump in the transfer portal.
how many articles have we seen in the past week about somebody getting a 7th or 8th season?
Which why? Why do
Good Lord, who doesn't want to get out of college? Like, I don't understand.
I guess if like you have no plans to go to the NFL, maybe you're getting paid some money in college and you're like, let me do one more year so I don't have to get a real job. I don't know. But these people are like married with children and like hitting 30 before they're out of college. If you're not coming out as a medical doctor, what are you
I don't even understand the academic like landscape of that. What are you just getting like multiple master's degrees?
Or you're just taking classes. Like, do you have 15 PE classes?
I don't know, but it's a disaster. I think the entire landscape of college football, NIL, transfer portal, this 12 playoffs, the college football selection, it's all a dumpster fire.
Well, and I think Nick Saban said it best. Like, we got to start protecting the brand of college football because it doesn't look good right now.
No.
We look like an embarrassment all across the board. How the coaches behave, how our media is, NIL.
Yeah.
It's not good. It's not good. So,
well, since we clearly have a few thoughts and opinions, would you like to answer some questions?
Why not? Why not?
All right. So I did not pick any recasting questions this week.
I appreciated that.
Because guys, like you're kind of inundating us with them. And a lot of them, I'm going to be honest, I don't even ask Becca because I know she's not seen it. Okay. So we'll get to some more of them. There are some that are decent, but guys, ask something else is all I'm saying. Okay. That's all I'm saying. This is from Alicia. What 3 singers today do you think could easily transition to being an actor or actress? Good Lord, I cannot talk. Ooh. Great question.
It was a good question. I took this one as like, if they were never going to sing again, they could be successful at just being an actor and actress.
Oh, okay. That's an interesting take. Okay.
So I went with obviously Taylor because listen, she hasn't failed anything that she tried, and I would love to.
Coughed at the same time. Who did you say?
Taylor Swift.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I just again, she can do anything that she wants, and why not?
Valid. Okay.
I also went Lady Gaga. Felt like that was low hanging fruit, but she's odd enough, and if she gets the right roles, good enough, she could just do that. And then for my other one, I was like, okay, it has to be somebody that like puts on really great performances, which then in my mind, I'm comparing to like Taylor Swift. And I'm like, nobody does concerts that well. Because here's the thing, if you can be great in your conferences and put on a whole show, that shows me that you have like the showmanship and you understand like the character and everything. So I actually went Harry Styles on this one.
He's on my list too.
Okay. Nice.
I love it when we have some of the same answers. Yeah, I actually think Harry he's been in a couple things.
Yes.
So that was one of my struggles with this question because I wanted to say Selena Gomez, but I assume we already consider her an actress.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good. So I didn't pick her. But no, I went with Harry too. I think
he could drop music altogether and just be an actor and be good.
I wouldn't say he's the male Taylor Swift.
No.
But
he's the next closest to being able to put on a performance that could do something. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then, I went with Taylor as well, but I really, 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 really hope if she goes into this space that she doesn't do quirky roles.
Yes.
Like, have you seen the clips of when she was on New Girl?
Yes. She was young.
And I just, that's not the vibe I need.
Don't lean into that.
Yeah.
Agreed.
My third pick is an interesting one, probably. And I always get nervous that you're going to judge me because of that one time I had the bad biopic picks. One time, but you were very intense, and so I always get nervous now. Pink.
You know what? That's not a bad pick.
Couldn't you see her in kind of like one of those like gritty, like maybe Ben Affleck, we're in Boston, kind of like crime movie-esque sort of
100%.
thing? Yeah.
And she could play a lot of characters.
Yeah, because she could also be kind of sexual.
Yes.
But
Also a thinker.
Yeah, and I could also see her being like in like a psychological thriller.
100%.
Listen, I think this is a good idea I've got going here.
I do too. I like it.
So yeah. And some of our friends just saw Pink, I think for their second time. And again, they said it was so good. And I would really love to see her.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just a side note. Okay. From Nate. Whose performance so far this season is a bigger issue for the Chiefs? Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, or the defense? First of all, Nate, I need you to calm down. First of all, we don't come for Travis, okay? Simmer down. But a valid question. We've had some issues.
It's a good one.
I know that we had to say names, but we've had some.
But you did, so we'll answer.
Yeah. Okay.
When I read this, I immediately took Travis out of the equation. I don't think he's your problem this year.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you. And Nate.
Instantly, I said, oh, it's Patrick. But then I was like, Patrick is off this year. He's not connecting as much. But I think he worked so hard last year to read his offense and what worked better for them and switch his game that this year, I don't know that he's got the energy to do it.
Yeah.
But then I was like, but your O-line is crap too. So then I'm like, how much is
But we still, and it shouldn't be crap. We still have Joe Thuney. We still have Creed. Yeah. Like, it should not be that.
It shouldn't.
We have Trey Smith. He got a penalty yesterday, and I was like, number 65? Really?
Yeah. My answer was Patrick. I don't feel I could honestly pin it all on him because we've seen so many other issues. Our defense takes 4 quarters to warm up. But if we're solely relying on the defense to win the game, then we've got a problem there.
Issues. Yeah. Well, of course, instantly when I saw the question, I took offense to the Travis comment. We don't cover him on this show. But again, I do not believe he is the problem.
No.
I too would like with the options Nate gave. First, I was like Patrick. Yes. I actually though was going to go defense, but not defense. I'm going our secondary.
Okay.
Now, obviously, we lost L'Jarius Sneed, who has done absolutely nothing in Nashville, and I think he's even on the IR now. He's got to be hating his life. That was a real stupid move. He and Tyreek Hill, they real smart.
Bad life choices, guys.
I don't know what happened, and apparently it's very weird that it has not been announced yet what it was, but Josh Williams went to the locker room mid-game, number 2 on the defense.
Yeah, I saw him walking down the hall.
And it's not been announced what the injury was, which apparently is really weird.
They kept replaying the hit over and over again, and I was like, maybe it looks like he got dead-legged a little, but then we'd watch it again, and I was like, doesn't look like a weird hit.
No, I don't know. So that, and it's weird that they're not saying what it was. So that's not a great look. But I think our secondary is a big problem. Yesterday, I mean, Herbert's a decent quarterback, but listen, he should not be throwing 30-yarders on a Spagnuolo defense. That's just outrageous.
And connecting. Like,
yeah, like you actually made it. They caught the ball. We did lose Jalen Watson to the broken ankle, which I don't understand bone injuries. Like Pacheco breaks his leg and he's already back, but we can't get Jalen Watson back.
Every time Pacheco runs, I'm like, are we sure he's healed? It feels like it wasn't long enough. I don't know.
I'm sorry, I got a weird text. But yeah, so I'm going to our secondary.
Okay.
I mean, at the end of the day, we could stand for everyone to do better. So
right. Listen, the amount of times I have been watching these Chief games and I keep telling Doug, I'm like, they just need to call me. Let me talk to the coaches because what are we doing? Our game planning was atrocious. Like all of these things. Let me just help you out. Maybe you don't know. Because, clearly I do.
Clearly. All right. This is from Madison. Do you think first of all, by the way, this took me a second because we haven't talked about it in a while.
Same.
Do you think the IEWU, which is it ends with us, drama will negatively affect Blake Lively's career going forward? we have had similar questions and we've talked a little bit about this, but I brought it up again because there was another article in Vogue this week, or it might have been Variety, but I think it was Vogue, where they were talking about actresses that took a hit this year and actors, and they brought up the Blake Lively thing again. So I was like, I guess this is still relevant. You people do not understand me. Like,
Listen,
all I can tell you.
I absolutely not. This has no negative impact on her because I think that, first off, wasn't a big deal. This stuff, clearly the media overdid. Actually, TikTok overdid and kept making everything a bigger deal than it was. But I think in situations like this where there's absolutely no merit to anything, if everybody just stays shut up, let it pass, and we've moved on with our lives. But it would take a massive something for anything to have a negative effect on Blake's career, I think.
Yeah. First of all, again, you people don't know me if you think something's going to negatively affect Blake Lively. Good luck with that. But no, because again, as we've said before on here, the cast clearly sided with Blake.
Yeah, very obviously.
And so is this going to be a negative, long-lasting impact on Justin Baldoni's career? Yes, without a doubt. This is not going to impact Blake Lively's. The only thing I think that could ever bring Blake Lively down is if she has like an affair with the Pope or something. Like, I mean, it's going to have to be something real tragic.
Agreed.
So no, I don't think so at all. This next one was a little shout out for our husbands since they're both into the whole Marvel universe. And thus we end up having to see more movies that we normally would not. From Ashley, there are rumors. She put Marilyn Klein.
I think it's Madeline.
Sure she meant Madeline Klein and or Haley Steinfeld are joining the Marvel universe. Thoughts? Question mark. First of all, I had not heard this about either one of them.
I hadn't either. I feel like we would have known. I didn't know who Madeline Klein was. I had to look her up. I guess.
Oh my gosh. You've never seen Outer Banks either?
What do you think, Mandy?
Okay, listen. First of all, we are almost at the end of the year. Have you watched? I know you haven't.
Don't ask. Why are you asking?
You told me by the end of the year that you would handle this.
Listen, we still got a few weeks.
Okay, fine. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I didn't know who Madeline Klein was. Honestly, you could stick most female actors in these Marvel movies and they're going to do well. Yeah. But I do think if the rumors are true with Haley Steinfeld, I think that would be fantastic. I think that she's extremely underrated for how good of an actress that she is.
Really? Okay.
And I think
you like her in.
Valley. Listen, don't ask those questions either.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, you acted as if she was something great, and I didn't know what she had been in.
Listen, nailed Pitch Perfect. Nailed it.
Got it.
No, but I just really like her, and I think that this is an action type movie I think she would be really good at. And listen, if you start looking at some of her pictures from like her early days and then to how she's matured to now, stunning. She's stunning.
You're still talking about Haley Steinfeld?
Yes. Look it up.
Okay.
You got to look it up. Because
now I realize now that you don't know who Madeline Klein is, but do you not think Madeline Klein is pretty?
Oh, she's very pretty.
Do you think Haley's prettier than Madeline?
I don't know that I could based on this picture I just pulled up, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have different tastes in women. I mean, that's a weird statement to make, but okay.
Accurate.
I could see Haley Steinfeld playing like a cyborg kind of person.
Yes. Yeah.
Real well. Like I could see her playing like a villainous kind of character in the Marvel universe. Now, if we're talking about like an Avenger, I don't know how I feel about it, but I do not see Madeline Klein in the Marvel universe. I do know who that is. I have watched The Outer Banks.
Good for you.
I'm a normal human. And I think she's fine. I think it will be interesting to see what she does with her career post Outer Banks because I'm afraid she could be one of those ones that's kind of codlocked her into that type of role, which would thus not translate to the Marvel universe. Now, I am not quite on the Haley train the way you are. I did not know anything she was in. I only knew who Haley Steinfeld was because she used to hang out with Taylor and that she's engaged to Josh Allen.
Okay.
But I could see her being like a cyborg villain kind of person. So I don't
Well,
know.
there you go.
If it's happening, great. Great for both of them.
Okay.
All right. Are you ready to do some Y Factor?
Let's do Y Factor.
All right. What are you not liking?
44. Okay, not liking. I have two that I don't love. The first one, and I think I sent you a clip on TikTok. Shania Twain in Las Vegas at her residency.
Oh, okay.
What are we doing? Like, you could have gone out with the best country music legacy and how great you were, and you are now have clearly had a lot of work done. The hair looks like you went to the dollar store. I don't know if those are extensions, if that's a full-on wig. I'm not totally sure, but it's bad. You sound atrocious, so lip singing would probably be best for you. And your little fake bikini thing, whatever you're on the stage on, that's clearly got like skin colored meshing on it because it's not your actual skin under there, doesn't look great. And it looks like you're doing this for Depends. Like, what are we?
Okay.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
I mean,
And no one's in her corner saying, maybe sit down.
well, her corner was her husband, who's now with her best friend, and now she's
Yeah,
with
but
his
you're with your best friend's husband now. So, like, surely he said, maybe
Exactly.
enjoy retirement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am interested to see if she ends up being on debut TV. I don't think
It's almost like what Britney Spears' future is going to be. I feel like is what we're seeing with Shania.
Well, now Brittany has she's only 5 years old now.
She is. She started kindergarten again and has moved to Mexico.
And
So,
that seems
good for her.
safe and healthy and yeah.
Yeah, clearly she's got the right people in her corner. So,
So today I don't know if this is a little spicy.
Okay.
I am not liking Jay-Z. So obviously yesterday
Did anybody ever like Jay-Z?
Well, I did back in the day. Yesterday, some news came out again. In the United States of America, we are innocent until proven guilty, allegedly. Not true, but it's alleged. But there are charges now that he sexually assaulted a young woman when she was 13, part of the Diddy scandal. We knew that Jay-Z was going to be implicated with Diddy scandal. We didn't know to what degree. But Jay-Z put out a statement, and that's what I'm not liking.
Okay.
Because the entire statement was not... It was essentially that he was pissed he was going to have to sit his kids down to explain things to them.
I saw that.
Now, I get it, right?
Yeah.
Like, you do. First of all, Blue's like a teenager, so there's that.
Say, she sees it. Kids at school are seeing it.
So, yeah, you're a celebrity, my guy. Like, you're going to be explaining a lot of things.
And this is the first thing that's ever come out about you.
No, yeah, Becky with the good hair, ring a bell. I'm sorry, you cheated on their mother.
Sister-in-law, elevator, any of that?
And so in the face of very damning allegations, when everybody kind of already knew you were going to get allegedly accused of something, you're mad because you have to sit your kids down, and that's all you're going to say about it?
Yeah.
Not a good look.
No. I think he came out and said that this person was blackmailing him. He came out and said they wanted money. Now, the lawyer for this person has come out and said it was not blackmail, that they did send him a letter, but that the request was mediation. They did not pay us $5 million and we'll shut up. Yeah. So.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and just make a shot at the dark. It's not going to be the only thing that comes out about Jay-Z in this fiasco. So, good luck. Godspeed.
Yeah, not great.
What are you liking this week?
Okay, so yesterday we got out of the house, went to the movies.
Oh,
the red one. If
never
you
heard of it.
Listen, y'all gotta go. You gotta go. You guys gotta go. It's a Christmas movie. I had not seen I had seen that it was a movie, and I had seen like a picture of it, but I hadn't actually watched the trailer or anything. It's got The Rock, it's got Chris Evans, and it's got J.K. Simmons and Lucy Liu in it. I'm going to tell you, when we came into that theater, both of the boys said that was such a good movie. Loved it.
I got to look this up.
Doug, Mr. Movie Critique, person that I do believe that is my new favorite Christmas movie now. And that's a big thing coming from him. It
Huh.
was so good. It's about Santa gets kidnapped. And it like the storyline sounds, I don't want to say juvenile, but like a normal Christmas movie, but it comes across the screen of more of like a action figure type movie. Okay.
Yeah.
You got Santa gets kidnapped, the North Pole's head of security, which is The Rock. Then he has to team up with this hacker in a globe-trotting like mission to save Christmas and to get Santa back. But it's like, I'm talking like Avenger level hacking. Like this is not, it's not like a cheesy, you know how The Rock can be in like The Pacifier and other stuff that's just corny. This was not bad. It was so good. Even halfway through the movie, I looked over at Doug and I was like, I love this. I did not expect to enjoy that movie as much as I did, but Judd would love it. Aaron would love it. Even you would enjoy it.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned it because he's having a sleepover this weekend before his birthday party, and maybe we'll take them to that.
Listen, so good. So good.
I see here, I looked it up. I see that it's got John Mayer's little girlfriend in it, that Kiernan Shipka lady girl.
I did not know that that's who he was dating.
Allegedly.
I think she's a shapeshifter in it.
Oh, spoiler alert.
So good. That doesn't so good.
So I'm a little late on this one, I think. But I don't think we've talked about it, which feels weird because this feels like something you would have watched. There is a series on Peacock called The Anatomy of Lies.
Okay, so I've seen this.
Yeah.
It's on the list, but I haven't watched it.
So Elizabeth Finch, if you don't know who that is, she used to be a writer on your favorite show, Grey's Anatomy.
Mm-hmm.
Turned out, though, she was the entire time faking a cancer diagnosis.
Yes. Yes. Okay, now I remember what this is.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so it is really, really fascinating. There's a lot of stuff. Like, she said she had cancer. She said she lost a kidney. She said she had a knee replacement. Like, it wasn't just one thing. It's like a whole lot of lines. She apparently was like incredibly close to Debbie Allen, who plays Catherine Avery on Grey's Anatomy. And that's kind of how she got into the Shonda world. But it's really, really, really good. It's so interesting. I love, it just left me. The girl with the annoying voice. Anna Delvey.
Oh, yes.
I can't remember what her thing was called. But any of these like fake personas, they pull off these like kind of schemes. I think those things are so interesting because I'm like, how?
The mental capacity it would take to remember all of your lies and on the spot be able to lie about something like cancer.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about the medical details of that to be on the spot lying about it.
No.
Deep into your belief of that.
I mean, she like said she had, there's just a lot of things involved in this. So it's really, really fascinating. Totally worth the watch on Peacock.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you watched it. It's on my list. So I definitely need to.
Yep. I think that's all I've got.
Great. Listen, we have great recommendations.
I mean, look at us.
Anything
else we missed today?
Probably, but we covered
a lot. It's a longer one today.
Thanks for listening, guys.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next week with no Eras tour. It's going to be a whole new world. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye, y'all.